So I think we've got pretty good critical mass here. Why don't we go ahead and get started and do introductions and get some of the housekeeping stuff out of the way, and then we can kind of get into it because we want to talk about the scenarios and some other aspects of the modeling and work that we've done over the last couple of months, and we think we'll have an opportunity for good discussion. So I'm Barry Manning. I'm with the Bureau of Planning and Sustainability, and I am the BPS project manager. So why don't we have staff do introductions first. Kate, I have you on the top left of my screen, so why don't you do that, and then we'll go to the PWG rather.
Okay, from PBOT, I'm Kate Drennan. I'm the project manager with our area and project planning team.
Great. I'm opening something else, so bear with me. Who else do I have on here? I'm seeing Dan. You're on there somewhere. You're not necessarily city staff, but go ahead.
I'm hiding up here. Yeah, Dan Bauer, director of Portland Streetcar Inc.
Great. And we'll
Mike and Ning both.
Yeah.
We'll introduce the consultant team too. How about Julia?
Reed, Nelson Nygaard, consultant team project manager supporting PBOT and BPS.
Nicholas, I see you next on my screen.
Hi, Nicholas Starrin, BPS land use.
Tyler?
Hey everyone, Tyler Bump, project director at Echo Northwest, working on the land use and development feasibility.
Mike Sertella.
Hey everyone, Mike Sertella, Portland Bureau of Transportation planning team, supporting Kate on the transportation side of things.
Eric.
Hello, Eric Engstrom. I manage the Comprehensive and Strategic Planning Group at the Bureau of Planning and Sustainability.
And Ning.
Ling from PBOT do the modeling for the project.
Great. And I think that's all the staff that we have, so and consultants we have on board right now. So we're missing a few folks from the working group. Hopefully they will join us as we keep going here. I know a couple of folks expressed that they were going to be late, so I do expect that Joy and Brian Ames will join us late. So having said that, I promised we would go in reverse order of the list of PWG members. So I think that puts Alex at the top of my list. So Alex, are you with us?
Yes, hi everyone. I'm Alex Zimmerman, PSI board member, Northwest Residents. I also serve on the Northwest Transportation Committee for NWDA.
Great. Is Jordan with us yet? I didn't see his image here. Don't see him yet. Hopefully he'll join us soon. How about Mike Stonebreaker?
Mike Stonebreaker. I serve on the NWDA Board of Directors, Transportation Committee, and the liaison to the Planning Committee.
Great. Phil, I saw you. You're next on my list.
Yes. Hi, Phil Sellinger. I used to be the one of the NWDA reps to this group, but I'm not on an NWDA committee any longer. I think the proposal is for Mike Stonebreaker and I to swap roles, which makes me an at-large Thurman Street resident.
Okay. Great. So is that official yet, or is that still pending a decision from NWDA? Is that?
I think we can make it official. There were there hasn't been a vote necessarily, but everyone said, yeah, let's do that.
Kind of makes sense. Yeah. Okay, good. And by the way, I should have said at the beginning, if you have conflicts of interest that you disclosed in your introductory conflict of interest forms, please state them in your introduction so that we just get those out in the open right now. So I'm going to go down the list. Still going. Stephen Ramos. Is Steve with us? Stephen with us yet? Don't see him yet. Okay. Steve Pinger. I saw you join just a moment ago. Look, you're muted though.
Hi, Steve Pinger, NWDA Board and Planning Committee.
Great. As I said, Joy will be joining us a little bit late, I think, so, and I didn't see her there. Greg Madden. Greg, oh, you're muted, Greg.
Yeah, there I am. Sorry about that. My space bar didn't work. Greg Madden. I'm with the. I'm on the board of the Northwest Industrial Business Association. I also own a property within the MP2H area on the northwest side.
Jen Macias.
Jen Macias, formerly on the NWDA board and planning committee, and a property and business owner in Northwest Portland.
Thanks. Cachet, I have you next.
Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Cachet Kilson Anderson, and I am here on behalf of the Urban League of Portland and Hollywood Senior Center in Northeast Portland.
I have Dalton next on my list, but I don't see him. Dalton, you there yet? I think not. So Craig, you're next on my list.
Craig Hamilton, president of Northwest Industrial Business Association and representing Galvanizers Company as well.
Thanks. Reza, I saw you're next on my list. Ooh, I saw him there for a moment. Did we lose Reza? Okay, not here right now. Raymond.
Hi, I'm Raymond Betchick, and I'm a member of Friends of Portland Streetcar and used to be on the Streetcar Advisory Committee before PBOT abolished that.
Stephanie, you're next on my list.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Basiliga. I'm a development associate with Micro Enterprise Services of Oregon, MISO, and we are one of the community-based organizations that has done held feedback sessions with stakeholders. We focused on small business owners, mainly minority-owned and women-owned businesses in Northeast Portland.
Great. I just lost my list. So I think Brian, as I mentioned, is not with us quite yet. So we'll have him introduce himself a little bit later. And I saw a couple of people joined us, and we're asking folks to introduce themselves. And if you have any conflict of interest that you disclosed, please remind us of what that is. So I saw Jordan joined us.
Hi, this is Jordan Winkler with the Winkler Development Corporation. We're owners of an industrial site in the district, and I live close to the district, and no conflicts of interest.
Okay. And I saw Stephen joined us as well.
Hi, I'm Stephen Ramos, and I'm a member of the Northwest District Association Planning Committee.
Great. So thanks to everyone for being here today and sticking with the process and joining us. I want to flash up the agenda really quickly, remind folks what we're doing, and we're going to go over some housekeeping stuff really quickly, and then kind of get into the meat and the details of the agenda. So bear with me while I open that. Where did that go? So for today, we were just going to do some project updates and housekeeping. The agenda includes a short report out from Friendly House, if Joy's able to make it, and Columbia Corridor Association and NEVA on the findings of their outreach to date and what they've learned from the communities they've spoken with. That has a relationship to their equity and public benefits work. We're hoping to use some of the information gleaned from that to help us form and consider what might be components of a public benefits package if indeed there were zone changes as a result of the work that we're doing here to move forward on. And then we're going to recap and review the urban development scenarios and including a new potential scenario 4, a hybrid that we've been working on, and share some of the transportation and economic analysis that we've been working on and get some of your feedback on that. And that's really it for this meeting, but there's a lot of stuff to cover, as you can imagine. So just in terms of the project updates and housekeeping, I sent out meeting notes a few weeks back, and then we also had the meeting posted, or the meeting video posted on our webpage. Did anybody have any comments or revisions to the meeting notes that they'd like to make note of. And I'm not hearing anything coming out vocally. Anybody see the chat, whether there's something that folks are remarking on? I'm not hearing anything, so I'm assuming those were good. The other thing that I wanted to mention was the project schedule, which we also revised, and I'm going to try to pull that up here. This thing's going a little crazy. Hopefully this will come up. Oop. There we go. So did everybody get a chance to see the revised project schedule, which I have up on the, trying to share that document right now. It's giving me a little bit of trouble, so I apologize for that. It's not working properly. Can anybody see, can you guys see that schedule? What the bottom line is, we were trying to revise the schedule to accommodate the delay in scheduling of this meeting from September to October. And so we're proposing to meet again in November to go over, hopefully at that point in time, a more detailed preferred land use scenario and plan with information about draft zoning and implementation tools with that. And then also talk a little bit more about what possible public benefits might be considered coming out of the CBO work and looking at some of the development issues that we're seeing coming out of the economics work. And then that would be followed by staff's release of a public discussion draft, which would be a report detailing kind of where we're at with things and how we got where we are, and including any proposed zoning changes that might be considered. That would be out in the public for probably 6 or 8 weeks, collecting feedback on that. And then we would meet back in February to discuss, what we heard from the public on that. And then ultimately staff would work on, with some feedback from you all, some revisions to that would ultimately lead to some kind of a proposal in the spring of 2021 and a meeting in April. So with that, does that all make sense to folks? Does that work for people's schedules, and any questions about that? Not hearing anything right now, but I'm going to look and see if there's any chat going on. Somebody's going to come back in a minute. Okay. So we'll plan to meet in November with a much more refined proposal that we'll bring back to you. So please stay tuned on that. Let me see if there's anything else on my list of housekeeping agenda items. The only other thing I wanted to talk about was find out if PWG members had anything that they wanted to bring up in particular, or if there were any public comments that folks that might be joining us have right now. So first I'll ask the PWG members if they have anything kind of for the good of the order that they want to talk about before we get into the other agenda items. I'm not seeing anybody raising anything right now, so I'm going to assume that we're okay there. If you do, please make note of it, as we go on with the discussion. So the other thing is, are there any members of the public that have joined us today? I know we had a couple last time, and are there any members of the public that would like to comment before we get into the rest of the agenda? You can enter that in the chat if you have or want to speak, or just raise your hand. And not seeing anything, I think we're going to go ahead and move on and go ahead and get into the rest of the agenda. So the next thing on our list was to hear from Columbia Corridor and NEBA about some of the outreach work they've done to folks in the industrial area that we're looking at right now, workers and business owners in that area, and then also get a report from Joy at Friendly House. Joy, do you want to introduce